What's up, nerds? Welcome back to my Golden Diary. Not gonna waste time with a long intro here, I got a lot to cover. Spoilers ahead, you get it at this point, let's move on. We bring Kanji up to the roof to try and get some information from him. Aside from his interest in sewing, we don't really learn anything new. When we ask more about his disappearance, he remembers that somebody showed up, but he has no real memory beyond a dark entrance before he found himself inside the TV world. Yukiko surmises that maybe the dark entrance was a TV. He volunteers to join the team, and we happily welcome him in. We relocate to Junes to start filling him in on everything we know about the case as of this moment. We will lament over the fact that we have no real leads anymore, what with our only continuity having been disproven by Kanji being the latest target. At first, we assumed the killer was only going after girls and women, but Kanji's a guy. We also suspected that every victim was in some way connected to the Yamano scandal, but if that were the case, it would have made much more sense to have targeted Yukiko's and Kanji's mothers, as they were the ones who directly interacted with Yamano in some way. Yukiko was tangentially related at best since she does work at the inn, but Kanji had damn near no connection whatsoever. That's when Kanji reveals that he acquired a set of lists from someone who was snooping about Kanji's and Yukiko's disappearances. When he gave them to me, I took a look and was shocked to discover that one of them was a list of TV broadcastings that included the air times of the reports on Yamano, Saki, Yukiko, and Kanji, the four targets and the two victims of this mystery killer. Thanks to Kanji, we now suspect that the killer is targeting people who get covered on the local news. We take Kanji to the TV world and introduce him to Teddy, and after a brief misunderstanding between our mage and brawler, we decide to call it a day. The next day, we're chatting during lunch, and Yukiko mentions that the rainy season starts soon, meaning the Midnight Channel is going to be even more active than before. It's then that Yosuke mentions the school campout, one of this game's many high school slice-of-life scenarios. I won't cover this event too much because it's largely summed up with me being forced to eat mystery food type X, getting thrown off a cliff, and a very awkward sleeping arrangement. Anyways, after class, King Moron is a moron and sends me to back up the Student Health Association. In the process of my duties, I meet Saki's younger brother. He decides that Yosuke and I are despicable, so any interest in getting to know him is thrown out the window. If he wants to behave like his sister, I'ma treat him as I would have her. He tries to flake out of cleaning the room, but I don't allow it. You wanted to show up, so you're going to work. I don't care if your feelings are hurt. You will do what is expected of you, Konishi. Following that, Yosuke ropes me into a plan to get a motorcycle license for some, and I'm using his words here, squeeze play. It boggles my mind that this voice is shared by Sasuke Uchiha, Ben Tennyson, Luke Von Fabra, and Peter Goddamn Parker. Also, shoutouts to anyone who knows who Luke Von Fabra is. You're a real one. Anyways, now that we have Kanji with us, I take him to the TV world to deal with his dungeon's optional boss. I realize that up until now, I haven't really touched on any of the characters' strengths, so I'll play catch-up a little bit here. Yosuke's built mainly around buffing and debuffing, using attacks only to capitalize on a weakness. Yukiko is our mage. Her magic damage is insane, and she has access to various healing skills that make her crucial to the party. Chie is mainly a physical attacker, but also balances debuffs. Kanji is the same as Chie, but in my opinion hits way, way harder. I take my time going through the dungeon, trying to get some extra persona cards and stat boosts for Izanagi, as well as some levels for the whole party in general. Also, little tip for Persona 4 newbies. If you are grinding, taking the opportunity to open a bunch of chests, and you start hearing the sound of chains jingling, stop opening chests and move to another floor immediately. Because what you're hearing is the Reaper, Mega 10's biggest super boss, or at least one of them. He has a crap load of health, has access to all the most powerful versions of every elemental magic in the game, and can one-shot you unless you are at endgame level stats. I'll point out when we get to when in the game you can reasonably fight Reaper and maybe win, but for now, avoid him like the plague. Anyways, the optional boss. It's weak to electricity, so between Izanagi and Kanji, this guy's pretty easy to bully. Just be careful with Yukiko because he has ice magic, which is her weakness. So he can do some pretty big damage to her.
It's over! Phoenix Rangers, Featherman R!
When I get home, I see Adachi and Dojima eating, so I bring up the motorcycle license thing. He seems apprehensive at first, and Adachi tries to convince him, but before any decision can be made, he gets a call from the department. Dojima and I come to an agreement about the whole scooter thing, and he heads out. The next day, Yosuke and I pass our motorcycle license tests with flying colors, and Dojima surprises me with his old scooter that he used to use. It's raining on the next day, which sucks for my options, so I go hang out with Adachi. While we chat, that old lady from last time sneaks up on him. She talks very friendly with him, wishing him the best when Adachi makes an excuse to exit the conversation. He theorizes that her son has the same name as him. He seems irritated by her, but I just point out that she cares about him. He doesn't seem to give a single hoot about that, though, which is pretty harsh if you ask me. Seriously, Adachi, at least appreciate the gesture, you jerk. How do you share voices with a freaking Power Ranger? That evening, Nanako seems off about something, so I offer to chat with her, which she appreciates. Nanako was given a parent-teacher interview sheet, and she doesn't know how to bring this up with Dojima. She seems to have already assumed he won't be able to make it. I do my best to help, offering to ask him with her, and that seems to give her some confidence. Given what she and I have talked about recently, I'm glad this one was more simple. The next day at school, I learned someone's spreading rumors about Kanji, so I look into it. Apparently, the rumor is that he's started his own gang, which is completely bogus. I decide to hang out with him and discuss the rumors. Obviously, Kanji tells me he's innocent, which I do believe. The guy is rough around the edges, sure, but he's got a good head on his shoulders. He knows better than to do stuff like that. After all, in this day and age, if you try to bully people, it could end very bad for you. For evidence, check out this video from Tyler Crux when he 100%ed Digimon Hacker's memory. Or if you don't want to watch that whole thing, watch this video, which is an episode from when he and I were casually let's playing that same game. But be warned, it is one of the darkest things I have ever seen. Anyhow, Kanji appreciates that I believe him, and I forge the Emperor Arcana with him. The weekend comes, and Yukiko asks me for help with something, so I meet her at Junes. She's been taking some night work, folding envelopes. Calm down, people. That's when 3 worthless losers come up and harass Yukiko. They're part of one of those TV crews that goes to places just to dunk on them in one way or another. They want to feature the Amagi Inn on their show, and obviously Yukiko and her mother won't allow any such thing. Yukiko's resolve seems to strengthen about leaving, but some of her pride for the inn is showing against those punks. Nanako comes up to Dojima, wanting him to read her a book before bed like he promised. He gets up to do it when his damned phone goes off again. Dojima tries to excuse himself, but I call him out. This has been happening all over the place since I got here, and I know it did not start with my arrival. Luckily, he gets the hint this time and goes with Nanako to read to her. Afterward, he mentions that the man on the phone was his old senpai who's been helping him find his wife's killer. Evidently, they didn't make any new discoveries. Dojima mentions that the car that hit her is American, and is likely out of the country by now, which deeply upsets him, knowing that he may never get to make him answer for what he did. Dojima is struggling between his responsibilities to Nanako and his personal need to bring that guy in. I can't imagine what he must be going through, but for this one moment, I'm proud of him for choosing Nanako over the past. At school, Yumi's only looking more and more depressed, so I make sure to attend drama club today to see if there's anything I can do to help her. She's not there, but I know where she is. So once practice is done, I go straight to the hospital. Her mom collapsed from how much she's been doing since her dad got hospitalized, and does mention that she will be fine, but Yumi still doesn't see the value in her mom caring for her father. Yumi talks about wanting to quit the drama club so she can look after her mom, and that clearly has her frustrated with herself. She was really looking forward to the role she had. I wasn't gonna let her give that up without a fight. I remind her that she needs to look out for herself too. This seems to get through to her, at least a little bit. Yosuke got his hands on a scooter, so we ride to Okina City, and long story short, Yosuke did not leave Okina City with his scooter intact. In a few days, it's finally time for that field trip I mentioned a bit ago, but like I said, not gonna cover it much because it's mostly me suffering at the hands of my various friends, albeit unintentionally. At least I hope it was unintentional. Anyway, once the trip is done, I kinda need a break from Yosuke, Chie, and Yukiko, so I invite Kanji to the beef bowl place. A cop walks in and starts accusing Kanji for literally no reason. Nice to know the police are as worthless out in Japan as they are here in the States. He leaves once he realizes he doesn't have a way to falsely imprison Kanji for the crime of breathing, and Kanji starts to sulk about how he gets treated like that all the time. I try to cheer him up, but I'm not sure how much it works. But it does rally Kanji's motivation to help the team, so I say we can chalk up today to a win. At dinner, we're watching a news broadcast about Risei Kujikawa, some big shot idol, stepping away from the spotlight to go on a hiatus. One of the reporters mentions that Risei will be staying with her relatives that live here in Inaba. The reporter then gets unnecessarily nosy, so it's my headcanon that he got beat up in the parking lot after this. Who beat him up? I don't know. You guys in the comments section decide for me. It really doesn't matter to me. While we're talking about it, I want to point out something that I never saw until I started writing this script. You see this? This is a shot of the screen we were just on. Notice that splotch of orangey color in the middle of the TV? That's Risei's avatar picture pasted onto a freeze frame of an actual press conference from Japan. I got a good laugh out of that when I saw it. Anyways, Dojima bemoans that Risei is coming because it means that the normally quiet Inaba is now going to be a nightmare of paparazzi and obsessive fans that are going to make his job that much harder. Meanwhile, I'm more worried about Risei's life than her privacy. Don't take that the wrong way. If Kanji's theory about the pattern is right, then she's the next most likely victim. The next evening, Dojima mentions how he feels like he's being left behind with how much Nanako is growing. He goes on a spiel about homes and families and how he's struggling to move on. He's starting to try and decide where he draws the line for himself with his wife's murder case. I can tell he's starting to perk up, and I'm really happy for him. I go visit Yumi at the hospital, and she had just emerged from her dad's room. She said he was happy and had all kinds of normal conversations that I'm willing to bet he wishes he could have had with her long before any of this. She voices her annoyance again, more like a reflex. She's furious that she has to go through something like this. Thoughts of my grandmother on her deathbed after dying from cancer is pretty fresh in my mind right now, so I remind her that she's not alone. She leaves shortly after that. I'm glad she let her dad have at least one moment with her. That night, it's finally time to check the Midnight Channel again, and unfortunately our fears are confirmed as a silhouette appears that fits Risei's description, as confirmed by Yosuke. At school, it seems all of us are thinking the same thing about Risei, so we decide to try and find her at Marukyu Tofu, so we can warn her about the potential threat. But when we get there, it's completely swamped. People and cars all over the place, with Adachi needing to flag vehicles to keep moving just to prevent a total traffic jam. We get confronted by Dojima asking what we're doing here. I didn't want to completely lie, so I tell him that we were curious if Risei really was here. Yosuke, Kanji, and I managed to speak with Risei and warn her to be careful. But when I'm eating dinner at home, Dojima grills me. Apparently he and Adachi talked to Risei after we did. That was reckless of us. Thankfully, I'm saved by the eternal flag of peace that is Nanako. Later that night, I checked the Midnight Channel again, and it's the same thing, but more expressive. It's still not as clear as it usually is when someone's been grabbed, so we can at least be sure that she's safe for the moment. The next day, we're debating what we saw and decide to hold a stakeout at Marukyu to try and save her from the killer before he ever gets his hands on her. With Adachi at our side, he's gullible, that's the reason, we find one of Risei's superfans, or more accurately referred to as disgusting stalkers, trying to get a glimpse of what can only be her bedroom window. Yeah, creeps like this are why you keep the blinds and curtains of your windows shut whenever you're doing something personal. Literally, never trust someone without getting to know them first. Anyways, we chase him down until we corner him and Adachi arrests him. We return to Marukyu to tell Risei that she's safe, but her grandmother mentions how Risei is gone. Instantly, we all fear the worst and fan out to try and find her. Failing that, we are forced to wait until the Midnight Channel, where Risei's shadow declares that she's going to bear it all. Obviously, we have to stop this, and after an annoying bit of detective work, we get access to Risei's dungeon, which is a stripper bar. Not only that, but the music in the background is questionable. And all I'll say is that Atlus would never have been able to get away with this in a game that wasn't rated M. Before I continue on that tangent though, while investigating more about Risei for Teddy to be able to track her, Nanako and I are about to ask Dojima about her parent-teacher conference, but he's being dismissive, having just come home from work. Nanako snaps at him, accusing him of seeing it as just another case, and then she tells him that he's not her real dad and storms off out of the house. Naturally, my first instinct is to go find her, and I go with Dojima outside. I don't find her anywhere, but luckily my friends heard from Dojima what was happening and immediately pitched in to help. Be sure to find yourself friends like them. These guys are awesome. That's when I remember Nanako mentioning that she often went to the Samigawa floodplain, so I rush straight there. Dojima seems to have been hit really hard by what she said to him, and asks me to talk with her. I'll admit, I don't appreciate that he's so quick to back down right now, but I can admit that, yeah, him getting involved might make this whole thing worse. I don't know, my feelings on this are complicated. I tell Nanako that Dojima was the one who found her, not entirely a lie, and she wonders if he forgot about her mom. The poor kid is on the brink of tears. I wish I could explain that he never stopped searching for the man that took her from Nanako, but I doubt she'd fully understand. Either way, I try to assure her that Dojima hasn't done anything like that. She decides that she wants to go home, so I walk home with her, calling my friends to let them know that I found her. Now then, with that crisis out of the way, let's get back to the other one. Exploration-wise, there's nothing special about this dungeon, same goes for Kanji's. So, skipping to the boss fight, there's actually only one simple trick. Conserve your resources as much as possible.
Here it comes! Now, I'm finally myself!
go!
Rely mostly on Kanji's and Chie's physical skills, using yourself and Yukiko to keep everyone on their feet at as close to full health and SP as possible. Not because Rise is weak to physical attacks, in fact I don't even think she has a weakness, but because once you get her health down to about half, she becomes unhittable. Once she uses this skill, just have everyone spam guard until the battle ends.
I can see everything about you. What's the deal? Our attacks aren't making a dent!
Damn! It's like it's anticipating our every move.
I'm completely useless!
What the?
That power! I think it's scanning us! Oh, this is not good!
When you say not good, what exactly does that mean?
Woohoo! Analysis complete. Okay, here comes my counterattack. See if you can dodge,
Do it! Take a good look at Teddy's last stand!
This high energy reading, is it coming from that weird thing?
Teddy! The hell are you doing?
Roar!
Teddy!
Teddy!
At this point, Rise will confront her shadow and confess her true feelings being very much a part of her, which is her fear of being seen as only Rosette, the idol, making so that Rise herself fades into obscurity, allowing her to embrace her persona, Himiko. The conversation Rise had with her shadow causes Teddy to question himself and what he is, causing him to develop a shadow that starts breaking Teddy down. You can imagine what happens next.
Shall I spell it out for you? You are but a mere...
I said shut up!
Teddy!
It is the same for you all. You undergo suffering because of your search for the truth. This world is filled with thick, heavy fog. How can you find something when you know not what you search for? And thus, you invite more suffering upon yourselves. It is beyond my comprehension. Then I will grant you one truth. You will all die here. You sought the truth, only to find death.
Damn it! How are we supposed to fight something like this without Teddy?
It's all right. Get ready, everyone.
Hey! Don't tell me you're fighting with us! You can't take it!
I'm okay. I should be able to take that bear's place. It's my turn to save you all.
You know when I said to be conservative against Shadow Rise? This is why. Because your health and SP carry over in this fight. Teddy's Shadow is the most threatening boss in the game thus far. For one, he absorbs ice, so don't use any of Chie's magic attacks. He starts the battle off with a party-wide defense debuff, and once you get his health low enough, he'll start charging this heavy attack. If you aren't ready for it, it could seriously wreck your entire team. You have one turn to attack him before you need to guard. If you are guarding when the attack goes off, then the attack deals no damage and you are safe to attack him. Once you get this pattern handled, there's very little Shadow Teddy can do to derail you from this point, and he goes down.
Come on! Yeah! Congrats! Yay! I leveled up! I leveled up!
Alright, powered up!
Teddy embraces his fear of being alone forever, and his shadow becomes the persona Kintoki Doji. Gonna go ahead and say this now, Teddy is basically an upgraded Chie, but I don't really like him as a party member, so I never use him. Teddy starts working out in the TV world and asks that we not come back for a while so he can beef up while we take Rise home. But before I leave, I do form the Star Arcana with Teddy. Actually, I did this a while ago apparently, but I don't remember when, so I'm bringing it up now. After I get home, Adachi is dragging a drunken Dojima home. Apparently, he got wasted when they learned a detective prince was brought in to take over this case. Apparently, this detective is even younger than me. Now, that's got me worried because I'm concerned he might lean on me and the team a bit. Guess we'll have to wait and see. And that's it for this episode. 2 bosses in 1 video? What kind of drugs am I on? Jokes aside, this isn't the last time we'll be in a situation like this, but that's for another day. Now that we have almost the entire roster of the investigation team, who do you guys think I'll be romancing? Let me know your guesses as well as who you would romance in the comments below. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Check out my buddy Tyler Crux. He does a lot of fun stuff over on his channel, like this video. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. I'll catch you later, nerds.